Hello, everyone. It feels like it's been forever since I've posted a speed paint, and it's only been a few months, but still. And also, big developments since my last speed paint, because I don't even think I had 1,000 when subscribers when I uploaded that, and now I'm up to like 7,000, which is crazy. So thank you, everybody. Um, also, I am sorry if you hear the cicadas in the background. I live in Kentucky and they are out and about and they are screaming, um, which is awful. So, first of all, I want to address some things with my previous animatic, the congratulations one. So, I kind of expected some not controversy, but just some discourse about it because the subject itself is very discoursey. Um, I didn't expect for people to be this divisive over it, which honestly, the like to dislike bar is pretty good, so it's not like it's crazy. But still, but one of the things definitely that I have gone and corrected is I didn't put a spoiler warning in the title, which I fixed that. And then a lot of people didn't like that I had Dobby's hair as white um, in the thumbnail, which that itself is a spoiler. I've since changed that. Looking back, I mostly did that because I figured, it's already kind of the most like highly accepted fanon, um, headcanon, for Dobby to be a Todoroki, but the whole hair thing it wasn't that really is a spoiler. And I mean, I guess it is a spoiler, but hindsight is 2020. But I have since corrected that. And I'm sorry to anybody I spoiled. uh but anyway, uh okay, so I can see both sides of Fuyumi versus like being mad versus Dobby, having valid reasons to hate Endeavor. I don't agree with the people who are like, Dobby should be able to do crimes. He gets a pass because just because you had trauma doesn't mean you can be a bad person. And yeah, he did grow up without like support or people who were a good role model for him. So yeah, it is completely understandable how he got to who he is, but he is an adult. He's an and he is an adult with the mindset of a child because, he didn't really go to much school, I'm guessing. Um, but yeah, but I still stand by that Fuyumi has every right to be mad at him for possibly ruining Shoto's whole future because Shoto just wants to be a hero who can put a smile on people's face, and put people at ease. And Dobby might have endangered that, which I mean, go off, expose Endeavor, but bringing Shoto into it and like forcing Shoto to deal with all this trauma and also the rest of the family to deal with all this trauma again, um, especially when they were starting to heal, is just kind of like a dick move. I mean, Dobby slash Toya is still one of my favorite characters, but he is a bad person. I think we can all agree on that. Um, so yeah, I mean, of course, I still like reading people's long comments and discussing it, but I will not deal with people being like, I fucking hate Fuyumi or uh Dobby deserves to do crime or he gets to do crime as a treat. um, because yeah, it's fictional, but still, it's not a great mindset to have. Um, so yeah, there's my take. I probably left stuff out because I'm not like reading from a script or typing anything out. This is kind of like just spitballing of what I've been seeing lately. So yeah. Also, I'm once again apologizing for the poor audio quality. I'm my headphones, the microphone isn't the best. And the microphone for this laptop isn't the best, but because again, I don't have like equipment. So sorry about that. So I just want to say, because one of the main things people asked me for my next speed paint was like, why do you only draw Toya? It's like, well, shit, I do. So I decided I wanted to do something with Mina. Uh, so that's what this speed paint is a drawing of Mina because I love her. She's pink, she's adorable, love her hair, cute little horns. Um, and it's actually this piece is going to be lineless, which I haven't done lineless art in forever. And I'm reminded why, because it is very difficult and tedious. But I hope you guys like it. I think that's everything that I wanted to address at the beginning. Oh, other than go become a patron on Patreon. I love creating fan content and I would love to create a community and do stuff like I already have that on YouTube, but I want to do more. On there you can see like I have coloring pages of a lot of my art. I want to start doing like monthly like live streams where I draw like it's just doodles where you guys just shoot me ideas and I quickly like doodle them and we can just chat and have fun on Discord. Um, but I think I want to start doing that and then slowly shift to Patreon so I can kind of like build an audience. So I'm not just doing like a doodle live stream for like two people. But yeah, it'd be really cool if you guys could support me on there. There's also like a monthly commission for some tiers or suggestion on because I write fan fiction. Top secret. I will never like announce my username. I made that mistake when I was in the Ninja Turtle fandom. Um, and I made bad, really just poorly written fan fictions, mostly very like emo ones. So, but I do write, and that's one thing I'd like to do, is like doing a few like one shots, like suggestions and stuff. So, definitely join me over there. Fun stuff that I hope to be starting soon. Um, so because again, I graduated college, woohoo, yay! But also scary. But I do have like right now I'm doing like a contracting job with designing shoes. And I also got an internship as a storyboarder slash illustrator for a local company, which is really cool, but I don't know if this is going to turn into full time, but I'd still like to have, side hustle. Um, and also just a side hustle, like doing things where I'm still just making things that I want to do, but now I have more, but then I'd have more of an incentive to do it because then I have people who want to see it and it's not just for me, it's for everybody, it's for you guys. Um, which also, so I've seen a few people like react to my animatics or even like re-upload parts of them onto like TikTok, which if you see that, like honestly, even if they still credit me, please like report it and have them take it down because it's my work. But on YouTube with reacts, I'm okay with that as long as you ask. And I'm okay with like re-uploading like small pieces. But the bottom line is I want people to ask first and get permission because I don't like people just going and taking my content and putting it on their pages because it's not theirs. But if they ask permission, it's more okay. And I would like to see people sharing my stuff, but just be polite about it and ask first. Because I'll probably say yes, because that's just exciting that people just want to share my stuff and share it with their audiences or make reacts. So, yeah, okay, now we're getting into the questions. Okay, the first question was, what was your inspiration for the Sailor Song animatic? It was honestly just hearing the song. And I first started hearing the song around the same time as the Toya reveal. So like I was just listening to it, and this comes with a lot of like animatics and drawing ideas is I listen to a song and then I suddenly have like a connection to it to a character and then I start imagining it in my head and listening to the song and just kind of like closing my eyes or leaning back and zoning out and just picturing the animatic in my head. Recently, I've been doing that mainly with songs and wanting to do OC animatics, which I would like to do. I don't think it'd get as much traction, but I'd still really like to do OC stuff because I have lots of OCs and I love them. So if you guys are interested and you want me to see some like OC animatics, please tell me because I'd be more than happy to create them as long as I'd have people who want to see them. Um, but anyway, uh, and then, so my process of creating animatics is I listen to the song, I kind of imagine, and I typically really flesh out like the big impactful moment, like the very end or the very beginning, like the setup and the ending, because those are the most like impactful, powerful moments. And then it's kind of in between. I need to like jot down, like I know for the Sailor Song one, I kind of like for each verse I separated it and I kind of jotted down like, okay, Toya upset about Shoto for this part. Um, Dabi sees Endeavor on TV for this part. Um, so I know what I want to happen in each part. The congratulations was it was both easier and harder because it was easier because it was just dialogue, so it's just people talking to each other, where the Sailor Song was real, just like storytelling. Um, and but also it was difficult because there are only so many ways you can make dialogue look and feel engaging. So that was the most difficult part was like, okay, do I want another profile shot? Do I want another wide shot? Do I want a close up of Toya? Do I want a close up of Fuyumi? So there's a lot of that and of course finding the balance that's pretty difficult. And they also asked how did you manage to capture such emotion? I think expressions is one of my specialties. It's the thing I like doing the most, and it's the thing I've practiced the most because it's my favorite, doing fun facial expressions, exaggerated. Um, I'm getting better at body poses, um, but that's a big part too, is getting better at that and adding the expressions with the poses. Um, so yeah. I just kind of my inspiration, I hear a song, I connect it to a character, and then I just think and think until it starts to flesh itself out, and I jot stuff down to kind of keep me on track. Somebody else asked, "Who is your favorite character?" And this is who they asked, "Why do you only draw Dobby?" Um, is he your favorite? He's one of my favorites just because it's intriguing. He's not my favorite because he's a good person or anything like that. He's just very interesting and there's a tragedy to him that he's just insane because of this childhood. I like villains generally, because they typically have the most interesting backstories. But the Todoroki family is definitely up there as like my favorite. I actually this past weekend drew some Todoroki sibling fan art, which I'll stick in right here. And I thought it was really funny because the meme I chose, the meme format I just think is funny, and it's just perfect because it's four siblings, four squares. Um, so yeah, Dobby is one of my favorites. I still like other characters, but he's definitely up there, mostly because the story possibilities and the questions of hero society and the ideas of abuse are interesting to me that he brings into the story. Um, a few people asked when did I get into drawing. I think I addressed this in my last speed paint, but I'll kind of address it quickly again. I've always been into drawing. Ever since I've seen like Disney animated movies, it's like I want to create art and bring it to life. And I hope I've accomplished that. I think I am. If I do say so myself. So, but also thank you guys for making that possible because it's so cool. I love seeing comment after comment um, of people praising and saying how much this impacted them. Um, sorry, I make people cry apparently. But yeah, and that really motivates me to keep drawing is the impact it makes on other people's lives. Um, I only really got started getting serious about it when I hit like high school. Of course, I always doodled, but when I hit high school, it's like I really want to do this. And then, of course, in college, it's like it was becoming more concrete because, of course, when you say you want to do art when you grow up, that's very vague and can manifest itself in a billion different ways. But I did know I didn't want to be one of those snobby, pretentious people who just makes pretentious stuff to put in museums um, for people to gawk at and spend $1 billion on. I wanted to do something tangible. I like drawing figures. I like drawing characters. I like creating characters. I like character design. So hopefully someday I'll get into like the actual animation industry with TV shows or film. I'll probably have to move to like LA or New York, which I'm not really looking forward to, but because that's far away, one, and I love my family, and two, it's expensive to live there. So yeah, someone else asked, could you explain how you make so much detail and especially the clothes? So this comes from practice, obviously. Looking at real fabric and copying that realistically. Um, there's a balance you have to find because, of course, whenever anybody starts off drawing clothes with wrinkles, they go a little overboard, but also you don't want it to just be flat. So it's finding that happy medium, and definitely start off by looking at references and maybe even playing with different fabrics in your home and seeing how it folds when you move it when you move maybe a piece of clothing when you move your arm, maybe a blanket when it drapes over something, because that's basically just what clothes are. They drape over your body and then they have to crinkle when you move. So, and this comes from just being an artist. I just kind of notice these things. Like I'll literally be sitting sometimes and see somebody and it's like, "Ooh, that folds nicely." And I kind of stare at them like a crazy person as I like observe their clothing folds or the way that their dress or skirt like drapes. It sounds insane, but it's just taking from the world around you. Um, and the best way to think about it is to think about it as what direction is the fabric going? Where would it catch? Where would it fold? Where would it bulge out from a bump, like at the shoulders or at the elbows when you're bending? Um, in pants, look at real people. It folds at the hips, at the waist, at like the crotch. It might bunch up near the shoe. It might buckle at the knee. Um, it's those like key spots that I typically, because when I do that, draw the folds, I usually start off with like when I'm outlining it, like a little bump, and then you go in maybe like with a little line. Um, V's are very useful. Don't overuse them though, because then it gets insane. But instead of just a line, a sort of like V shape or a U shape feels much more realistic. That was one thing that's really helped my fabric drawing skills. Um, but also because in classes, because I took drawing and painting classes, and you do still lifes, and you just kind of there's always like a fabric draped on the table or behind the figure you're painting. Um, that I got practice like learning about drapery. Um, and one big tip that I have that I learned for like skirts or long flowy things is at the hem, like at the bottom of it, you just kind of make little squiggles. And then those are folds, and it makes it feel much more realistic. Um, it takes practice because you still want it to flow with whichever way the fabric's going or with how long it is. You don't want it to be too squiggly unless it's just a really big, maybe even a pleated fabric. But little squiggles. And that's another thing with Patreon is I can make tutorials to share with you guys. That could even be for like a lower tier. I forget what my tiers are, but I'd love to make tutorials and help you guys out and give advice. Of course, I don't think I'm an expert at any of this. This is all my own experience, but I still like to help out people. Another question is, will you do another Dabi Shoto Todoroki fan or animatic? Um, Also, they said that I catch the family energy pretty well, which thank you. I hope I continued to do that in my congratulations one, even though it is that one itself, since it's Fuyumi singing this to Dabi, it is tilted a little towards Fuyumi's opinions, which I think is where the discourse comes, is I made this animatic centering around Dabi and his backstory and how tragic it is. And then I have Fuyumi getting mad at Dabi for becoming who he is, not necessarily, but for making it's not for becoming who he is, but making the decisions that he's made, which he didn't have to murder countless people with his fire just to say that it was Endeavor's fault. Like, he could have gone for the actual commission, the hero commission, or after Endeavor instead of going after civilians who had nothing to do with this. But anyway, um, I'd like to. I feel like my channel, though, is a little saturated right now with Todoroki family content. So I'll probably try to do that after maybe I make another animatic for something else or someone else, which I'm always up for suggestions for like characters or dynamics you want to see. Um, but of course, when it comes to the song, that really is contingent on the song really inspiring me and bringing these images into my head. Um, but I'd like to. There's another song that I was listening to that I think would be cool to have like Dabi, maybe even like Dabi and Shoto, like back and forth, their perspectives. That might be fun. But again, my channel's a little saturated. So I kind of want to diversify a little bit before that. Um, so someone else asked if you could have a quirk from one of the existing My Hero Academia characters, what would you have? I would definitely have Hawks. Hawks' power because I've always wanted wings. I used to be in a Maximum Ride. That's really what got me kickstarted on loving wings and just the concept and drawing them. It's just so much fun. I love wings. So definitely his quirk. Hands down. That's the easiest question I've ever answered. If I see a character with wings, that's my favorite. I like them. I like drawing them. So yeah. Also, this is very random, but in I think it was since my last video. So my laptop of like 4 or 5 years, um, self-destructed back in like February. Um, like literally, well, okay, so it was, it's been through a lot, and I also may have spilt a little bit of coffee on it. But literally, I was just watching a video and then it buzzed out and then blue screen and it said, please install hard drive, no hard drive detected. Oh
my gosh, because I was in the process of making my thesis show, which was animation, which was on my computer. Luckily, I had it all saved to a SD card, but still, I lost some stuff. And it's like I sobbed in front of like the tech person on campus when they're like, "So do you have any schoolwork on this?" And I just broke down. So anyway, I had one on loan, but after I graduated, it's like, okay, I'm going to be getting a job soon. I need to have my own laptop. So I was looking at stuff because I wanted like a touchscreen one because it was like I could doodle on it for my job and stuff. Um, so I got this Dell Inspiron. It was bad, guys. Like, okay, it was okay. Not for like $1,600. The pen, like it's like the pressure sensitivity and like smoothness was shit. It was shit. If you're an artist, do not get like a two-in-one laptop. Get a cheaper laptop that and then a like graphic tablet without a screen because I was okay, I'll get to that part of the story. But so it sucked. It no matter how high I had my correction slash smoothing on in my drawing programs, it was still janky as shit. Um, and then also apparently Dell has this thing where they call it a feature, but it's shit. It's called adaptive screen like brightness, where if you're on a screen looking at an image that's mostly white, the screen is really bright. You switch to an image where it's like darker or it has more like tones, and the screen gets darker. This isn't something you can like turn off easily. Like I on startup, I searched in like the BIOS. I was so desperate to turn it off because it sucked. And I just couldn't find the setting. And I had it turned off in the basics settings. Um and I even like I restarted it, everything. It just wouldn't work and it sucks. So don't get a Dell. I right now I traded it in at because I got it at Best Buy. I traded it in for a $1,000 HP, which this is the HP NV 360. About the same RAM and storage. Um, it's actually is a two-in-one, so it flips over and it's touch screen. It just didn't come with a pen. Um, and then I also got a 379 Intuos Pro Medium, Wacom Intuos Pro Medium, um, a billion times better. And I still had money left over from buying the other laptop that got credited back to the credit card. So fuck Dell. HP is where it's at. I just I'm turned off from Dell because of that just bad time. There was also a whole thing where like a day into having it, I went to play YouTube and the video and audio just started glitching out. So would not recommend. So that's my little rant about that. But anyway, someone asked what my three favorite characters are. It doesn't have to be from Discord or shit. Doesn't have to be from My Hero Academia. So from it's easy to say from anime because that's what I watch mostly and what I engage with most. One of my top one, Kageyama from Haikyuu. He's just stupid. All that's there. He doesn't have any thoughts in his brain. His brain is just a volleyball in his head, and I love him. Um, then let's see. That's kind of a hard question because it's hard to think of it off the top of my head. Um, I could say like what my past favorite characters were because when I was in Maximum Ride, really into that, Iggy was my favorite character. And then when I was into Ninja Turtles, Donatello was my fave. Donnie Gang for life. Um, but right now, favorite characters, because most of them are from My Hero Academia, because there's just so many characters that it's hard not to have a favorite. I recently watched Skate the Infinity. Honestly, all the characters are good in that. I really like Joe and Cherry. They're dynamic. Yes, I do ship them. Who doesn't? If you don't, you're insane. Adam sucks. Fuck Adam. all my homies hate Adam. Oh, this is a manga spoiler, so like skip ahead. I'll put like the time code to skip ahead. Um, so one of my new recent favorite characters is Lady Nagant from the manga because she's just pretty. I really want a color spread of her because I want to know what her actual hair color is because I'd love to draw her. Um, she's sick. I think that's really it, like my top right now. I'm probably forgetting like every other TV show or anything that I've ever watched. Um, when I watched Adventure Time, I was really into Marceline because I mean she's just cool and sick and awesome and sings. Edward Elric is always a go-to fave king, short king. Everyone needs one. I think that's it. And I think that'll take me to the end of this video. So, thank you everyone for watching. Like and subscribe. Go become a patron. That'd be great. Hope you like this drawing. Check it out on Instagram. See everybody. Have a wonderful day.